तेजस्विना मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। हरि ओम. Salutations to all. Happy Independence Day. Arjun here in this 11th chapter, Bhagwan has indicated to him that he is going to win the war. He has already killed the Kauravas. So Arjun is only an instrument. So in the 33rd verse, Bhagwan said, Tasmat Tvamuttishta Yasho Labhasva. You get up and you get all the glory. Jitva Shatrun. You win over your enemies. And Bhungshwarajyam Samriddham. You enjoy the kingdom and it will be prosperous also. See, any king wants only these three. Prosperity should be there. There should be no enemies. And one should be able to enjoy. So all the three are there. Jitva Shatrun, Bhungshwa, and then Rajyam Samriddham. So Bhungshwa Rajyam and Rajyam Samriddham. All the three are there. And Arjun had a conflict that how can he kill his own people? So Bhagavan says, Maya eva nihata purvameva. I have already killed them beforehand. Then what is Arjun supposed to do? Nimitta matram bhava. Arjun has to be only a nimitta. So elaborately we had seen this aspect that one does one's best, drops one's doership while making the choice. If one can remember that Bhagavan alone is the Karta and Bhokta, that is great. Then the decisions will be balanced. If one can't remember that at that time, at least later on one should say that I surrender my actions and the results to Bhagavan. Whatever comes, I accept as a prasad. So the shloka here is not to become irresponsible that, oh, Bhagavan only is a karta. It is not to become an escapist or become indifferent to one's duties, insensitive. What is it meant for? To drop the karta bhav and do the duties. Like Gurudev used to give this very nice example that he said, the boss dictates a letter and the stenographer or the secretary, whoever it is, will write it down, then go. In those days, typewriters were there. So type it out and then bring it to the boss for the sign, and then the boss will sign it. Then this stenographer, secretary will take it, put it in the envelope, write the address, put the stamp, post it. All that the stenographer only will do. If there is any legal consequence of that particular letter, or whatever may be, even other consequences, if any, who has to deal with it? The boss has to deal. Why? Because the agency is of the boss. The doer is the boss. The stenographer is only the medium. If the operation is done, the boss and stenographer idea is given, example Gurudev used to give, because in that instrument and the doctor, so the surgeon uses an instrument and does the operation, then that instrument can't be blamed for the any mistake in the surgery, nor it will be praised for any success of the surgery. It is a doctor who is the karta, but in that the instrument is jadavastu. So in this stenographer and the boss example, the stenographer is a living entity, is a sentient being, just like Arjun and Krishna Bhagavan. Now the karta, the difference only is this: Bhagavan acts as the karta through the instrument, and Bhagavan only is the bhokta through the instrument. So it appears that the karta and bhokta is I, the Mr. So and so, the ego, but actually that is not true. Karta and bhokta is Bhagavan only. I am zero. That's the fact. So to drop kartritva and bhoktritva is this shloka. It is not to drop karma. It is not to drop what is my duty. It is not to abuse my powers and do some dushkarma and say that karta and bhokta is Bhagavan only. It is to use it in the right way, and the best possible way is this, which will relieve one from all stress. The highest stress reliever is this shloka. Because I'm not the karta at all. All pressure I'm handling in my head is because I think I am the karta, I have to prove myself, I have to achieve this. If I don't get this, then what will happen? What will the society think? What will my family tell me? Oh, whatever, even my own mind may insult me because I have put in my head something that this, if I get, then I'm worthy. Now, all that we have cooked up in our head. There are duties in the roles. We do the best to our abilities, and Bhagwan put me here to exhaust some karma with this particular jiva, this family, this company. I'm doing my seva of Bhagwan only. With that bhav, if one keeps doing the work, slowly, this will happen. That's why third chapter, full chapter is there about Karma Yoga and how to do actions dedicating to Bhagwan with selflessness, accepting results as they come. All that when it is said, through that the ego will become lesser and lesser and lesser. Then the Karta Bhav can be dropped. 11th chapter Bhagwan says this. He doesn't say that in the beginning because uh, people will not understand. In fact, they will misunderstand. So here, having said this, see, Bhagwan is so compassionate. You think about it. Is there anybody who will do all the work but will give credit to someone else? We are exactly ulta. We want to do nothing much. We want to take all the credit. Bhagwan is doing everything. He is the karta, bhokta, delivering this equipment, making this function, creating the environment, giving us the buddhi, karma when it happens, giving us the karma phala, bringing the right people together. Everything Bhagwan does, but no ahankar. In this big scheme of things, our contribution will be very small, 1%, 0.5%. Bhagwan's will be 99%, 99.5%. But that little bit that we have blown up to 99%. In fact, sometimes 100% also, and we say, which God, what God? There is no proof of God. I believe only in science, and I believe in my action. But Bhagwan says, whether you acknowledge my presence or not doesn't matter. I am only the Karta. So he says, you fight and take all the credit. See that first line only says Tasmat Tamuttishta Yashola Bhasva. You take all the credit. Bhagwan, Bhagwan doesn't want any credit. The real devotee also is like that. How interesting it is. Na? Bhagwan tells the devotee, you take the credit. Devotee says, no, no, you are the doer, you take it. Otherwise, we want credit, we run behind the world for credit. Meaning we want appreciation, praise, we want name, fame, all that because we thrive on that. Our identity comes from that. We feel good if somebody praises us. We do some post and then we go and keep checking how many people liked, how many commented, how many forwarded. Did my followers grow? So we thrive on all that. Bhagwan says, you take. But when the devotee says, no, no, Bhagwan, I don't want. You are the Karta, you are the Bhokta, you only take it. Who am I? I am nothing. That devotee, Bhagwan blesses with the Ananya, Bhav, and Atmagnan. And wakes up to the truth. Entire Srishti disappears. So, beautiful is this. Tasmat Tamuttishta Yashola Bhasva Jitva Shatrun Bhungshwarajyam Samriddham Maya Vaite Nihata Purvameva. Bhagwan has done all this beforehand. From his standpoint, it is predetermined. That's why he told Arjun, even without you, these people will not survive. Rite pitvam na bhavanti sarve. So what you should do? Nimitta matram bhava. If this one line we remember in the whole Gita, also if we can't remember anything else, just one line, nimitta matram bhava. Be an instrument. So name of Arjun which is used is Savyasachin, who is expert in using his left hand, meaning he is ambidextrous. So if somebody is ambidextrous, one will have great pride. I can do with both hands equally well. But that's what Bhagavan says here. You drop that ego. You do all the actions, do efficiently, do it well. But know that I am not the doer. Bhagavan is the doer. With that attitude, if one does, then karma bandhan also will not happen. Now, when he has said this, specifically, in the second chapter, Arjun had said that Katham Bhishma Maham Sankhye Dronam cha Madhusudana Ishubi Pratiyotsyami Pujarha Varisudana. How can I fight with these people who are worthy of worship? They are my grandfather, my teacher, and such great people. I am very grateful to them. They have made me who I am. I can't even insult them through words. I can't talk one sentence loudly to them. And you are telling me to kill them. How can I kill them? So, Bhagwan answers specifically that also. See, whether he will win or not, that was a doubt he had raised. Yadva jayema yadiva no jayayuhu. I have a doubt whether they should win over us or we should win over them. He had no doubts whether he can defeat them. His doubt was whether war should happen, whether he should fight, and then whether they should win, we should win. Very confused he was. Bhagwan shows him surely, clearly in the Vishwarup that you are going to win. See, one important point we have to understand here is this: when Arjun has seen this whole Vishwarupa, the impact of that Vishwarupa is in surrender to Bhagwan, as well as in finally Arjun saying that I will do what you say, and then he fights the war. While fighting the war, he is not remembering everything that he saw. That's why he also makes mistakes. He also makes blunders, so-called blunders. From higher standpoint, that's how it is destined. But otherwise, in the war, he also is not fighting with whole heart. And then Bhagwan gets angry and then he charges at Bhishma, all that happens. Meaning what? So sometimes what happens is when we, if I give a simple example, suppose you go to some astrologer or some tarot card reader or this, the zodiac signs one reads in the paper, this week my zodiac sign says this is possibility, this can happen, that can happen. Then one broods over that and many times makes that happen. Confirmation bias. Here, Arjun is actually seeing, this is not prediction. He is actually seeing that he has won the war. Pandavas have won the war. But Bhagwan's kripa is such that he comes down from that level, and when he tells Bhagwan that Karishe Vachanam Tava, after that he has to do his duty, he lives at the level of choice. He is not thinking, he doesn't remember this happened, that happened, this is how they died, that is how they died. They are sitting and plotting strategy every day of how to fight, what to do, which view to create, all that they are doing. Which means what? When we are action oriented, we have to live at choice level and we have to keep making the best choice and keep knowing deep down that all this is done by Bhagavan only. I am not the Karta. Those devotees who have very high levels of Sattva Guna and surrender, they continuously live in that state of Bhagavad Chintan. Their mind is absorbed in the higher. Even if they are doing something here in this world transactionally, they don't come down to ego level, their egoistic thoughts don't arise. Very high level that is. At our level, it comes down to karma. So one has to do specific actions with the clarity. This is my role, following dharma, this is how I should do. And that guideline is given by the scriptures, following the path of dharma, dedicating it to Bhagavan. So we keep doing. Now Arjun is shown that he is winning in the war. Then specifically because he had a challenge with certain people. So Bhagavan says, even those you don't worry, because he was feeling, how can I uh, kill them? I can't even talk words of insult to them. And now I have to actually kill them. Bhagavan says, don't worry. All these great warriors I have killed. So you will not get the sin. Meaning he was bothered about that sin and also that being ungrateful. So he uses the specific names now. 34th shloka. द्रोणं च भीष्मं च जयद्रथं च कर्णं तथान्यानपि योधवीरान् मया हतास्त्वं जहिमा व्यथिष्ठाः युध्यस्व जेतासि रणे सपत्नान्. So Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadratham cha. Four names Bhagwan uses. Karnam, four names. And in this, why does he use all the four? Because these are the most formidable amongst the Kaurava warriors. Duryodhan depends on these four. If these four are defeated, Duryodhan will not, means if they disagree also to fight, Duryodhan will not fight the war. And these four, Bhagwan says, along with these four other great warriors, Anyan, Api, Yodhaviran, all of them, Bhagwan says, Maya Hata, I have killed them. So you don't take the burden of doership saying, how can I kill my hands will be stained with the blood of my own teacher, my own grandfather, my own, you know, relatives. I can't bear with this. And then I enjoy the pleasures of the kingdom having killed them. That is not possible. So that heavy load of guilt, shame, regret, sadness, all that is there in the mind. So Bhagavan says you drop all that. Maya eva hataha, hatastvam. Tvam jahi, you drop what? All this guilt and fear and all this. not fear, guilt and regret, sadness, all that you drop. Ma yathishta, you don't be miserable. Yudhyasva, you just do your duty, fight the war. Jetasi, you will win. Rane sapatnan, you will in the battlefield win over your enemies. That's an assurance Bhagwan gives. So you drop all hesitation, all regrets. I have killed them. Onus is on me, not on you. So Drona, all of us know he was the guru. He has taught everything to Arjun, and it is not possible for any single individual there or even a group of them to defeat Dronacharya. He is invincible actually. Then Bhishma Pitama, he has fought with Parshuram himself, and he has been trained by Parshuramji. He has also been uh, given the boon of Ichhamrityu. So he is another one great hero. 10 days of the war was when Bhishma was the commander. It lasted for 10 days, he was the commander. After Bhishma fell in 8 days, everybody else fell. One man held it up for 10 days. And then Drona and Kripacharya, Karna, Ashwathama, all one by one, they become commanders, Shalya and all of them. In 8 days, the whole war is over. Bhishma is a great warrior. So Bhishma, Drona, then Jayadratha. In Arjun's mind, Jayadratha is not a big, is some formidable opponent and all that. But Jayadratha had a boon that whoever kills him, if the head of Jayadratha falls on the ground, the killer's head will blast into 100 pieces. And also we see in this context that is a little indication that Arjun will have to specifically kill this Jayadratha because Jayadratha will play the role in the death of Abhimanyu. So we all know the story. I am not going into the detail of that. So Jayadratha had that boon, and then Karna. Karna has the Shakti from Indra, and actually speaking, there is no competition between Karna and Indra. Karna and Arjun. It is shown generally, that Karna is greater than Arjun and all that. Mahabharata doesn't speak of anything like that. People want to create their own fake narratives. Arjun is the greatest warrior, there is no doubt in that. At no point in time Karna comes anywhere close to Arjun. Even if you think about it, did Karna acquire any divine weapons? Arjun acquired. What Karna had was because Indra gave him in return for the Kavachan Kundal. Otherwise, what was tapasya of Karna to get any divine weapons and missiles and all that? Arjun did not 12 years of tapasya. Like that, many reasons you will see. Arjun single-handedly defeated the Kaurava forces in the exile at the end of the exile period, in which Karna was also there. Arjun and Bhim release this Duryodhan and bring him from this Chitraratha Gandharva. That time Karna was there with Duryodhan, but he could not release Duryodhan, save him, free him, nothing he could do. So actually there is no comparison only. Arjun is a class apart. Karna is a great warrior, but no, there is no comparison to Arjun and Karna. In the next shloka also it will come actually. Kiriti is the word used. I will come to that when we come to that shloka. Why Kiriti word is used for Arjun? So, Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna. Four most formidable warriors. Bhagwan doesn't even mention Duryodhan's name. Because if these four fall, Duryodhan will not continue. Meaning, he will lose his morale. He may finish it off like how he did after all of them fell, but he knows that he has lost the battle. So Bhagwan says, and these four people, in that also Drona and Bhishma mainly. Arjuna is not bothered if Karna is killed and Jayadratha is killed. His main attachment is Bhishma and Drona. So he says to Arjun, Bhagwan says to Arjun, Maya hatas tvam jahi ma yathishta. I have killed them. So you don't take up that agency, and it is like last time we spoke about it. Those who are already dead, you go and poke the sword there. In that sense, of course, here Arjun has to actually fight the arrows, and um, in Drona's case, it is Arjun doesn't kill him, but Drishtadyumna does. But otherwise, Bhishma, Arjun shoots all the arrows, keeping Shikhandi in front, and Bhishma falls. Karna also, Arjun kills him when his chariot wheel is stuck in mud. And Jayadratha also, when Jayadratha pokes his head out to see whether Arjun is entering the pyre because it is sunset. And as Arjun was about to enter there and he pokes his head out to see, it is an eclipse happening. If you read in Mahabharata, there are three eclipses that happened during that war. Once in some rare thousands of years that happens back to back in 18 days time, three eclipses are happening. So the point is, Jayadratha was killed by Arjun. When Jayadratha poked his head out, one shot Arjun gave and head cut. And it goes and falls straight in the lap of his own father. Whose father? Jayadratha's father. So the idea is it didn't fall on the ground. Arjun was saved. So Karna, Jayadratha, Bhishma, all of them directly killed by Arjun. But Bhagavan makes him aware that main karta is me. How? We saw last time, Bhagavan gave the karma phala to them. Bhagavan in this context even individually went to all of them and tried to convince them, Kare, what are you doing? You should be on the side of dharma. Why are you taking side of adharma? But they didn't listen. Then deal with it. Whatever karma phala comes, they handle it. Because they made a choice. Now what can you do? If they made adharmic choices, then deal with that consequences of adharma, which will be dukkha only. So Bhagavan says, you drop this. Ma vyathishta. You don't have any despair. Don't feel any guilt. Because if that's what has to be done, that has to be done. That's our duty now. You're not doing it out of personal likes and dislikes. Karna has to be killed because it's the duty to protect dharma and his adharmic force. Don't bring personal enmity into play. That's the difference between Arjun and let us say Drishtadyumna. If Drishtadyumna has been born to kill Dronacharya. Drupad did that yajna, and Drishtadyumna and Draupadi, they both are born from the yajna. And Drishtadyumna has the boon that he will become the cause for Dronacharya's death. And he will kill. Now when Dronacharya is killed, Drishtadyumna doesn't do it as a duty of a kartavya and dedicating it to Bhagavan. Drishtadyumna comes out of that anger that you came and got your disciples to capture my father, insulted him and gave him back the kingdom in charity as though, and so I am going to settle the scores and I have come to kill you. So in the same Mahabharat war, there are many personal scores being settled also. Dushasan, Duryodhan, all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra, Bhim had taken an oath that he will kill all these 100 of them. He will break the thigh of Duryodhan he will drink the blood of Dushasan. And Draupadi's hair has to be washed with Dushasan's blood. This is all personal. And it happens in the war. Bhim fulfills all this. But that is the teaching Bhagavan gives here, where he says that you do for the sake of dharma, do it for the sake of dedicating it as my instrument. You are not the karta, I am the karta. If Bhagavan is the karta, why will I take offense? In the role that I am playing, if something is not appropriate, yes, we don't accept that, and then if I have to resist it, all that, but nothing personal. That is seeker's life. So at the end of the Gita here, when Arjun starts fighting the war, in some of these places he forgets all this, and that so his personal equation comes into play. When Abhimanyu has been killed, um, he is inconsolable and he blames himself and he says, you know, my son, he went inside this Chakravyu and it was because of me, these Prachetas, they tempted me and took me away, and then there was nobody to break this Chakravyu. And by the time I came back, I could not save my son. I thought I will defeat them and come back and rescue him because he knows how to go inside, he doesn't know how to come out. But alas, I couldn't come back and they have killed him, and he was very guilty. Then he took an oath. Who is the first person in this who blocked? Jayadratha was that person who could not allow Abhimanyu to come out. And you ensured that Abhimanyu goes in without the Pandava forces. Yudhishthir and all of them were supposed to go in. Jayadratha comes and blocks it. Now Abhimanyu is alone inside the Chakravyu. I will kill tomorrow before sunset. I will kill Jayadratha, or I will immolate myself. He takes one oath. Bhagwan fires him left and right for it. Why? Because he brought his personal emotion into play and then put the entire dharma at stake. Now, if he is not able to kill before the next evening, he has to immolate himself. These are all intricacies. How in Mahabharata things they are taught. Even after Bhagwan telling him that Maya eva nihata, I have already killed them. Still, the karta bhav is strong. It doesn't go just by intellectual understanding. Even after seeing the Vishwarup, if Arjun's karta bhav doesn't go so easily, which means what? Sadhana has to happen. Bhagavan Nam Japa has to be done, Karma Yoga has to be done, living in self-control, following the values, doing the, all the Yajna, Dana, Tapa, all those things. Then slowly that ego reduces. It doesn't happen just like that. So think about all that. So when Bhagwan is saying here that Maya Hatastvam, I have already killed them. Jahima Vyathishta, you drop all this fear and all that and distress and sorrow and guilt. Yudhyasva jetasi, you just do your duty. Fight the war, you will win. Ranesa Patnan, in this battlefield. Now, having said this, Sanjay now reports that what happened. Because Bhagwan now showed him the Vishwarupa and then showed him how he is going to win and how these specific warriors also are actually killed by the Lord. So does Arjun see the contexts in which these warriors will die? No. Which is again another point to understand. Bhagwan shows him what he needs to know. He doesn't show every minute, intricate detail. He shows what was, at least that's what in the 11th chapter here, Vedavyasji has written, that Arjun is not seeing particular incidents only. Arjun is seeing that they all are dying, they are entering into the mouth of Bhagwan and Kauravas are dying, Pandavas are winning, all that. In what is it called? Micromanagement, like that. Detailed planning. That much he is not showing there. He is showing a broad view. Here you are winning, and these people also killed by me only. So you don't have the guilt for it. So Arjun yet he knows that Jayadratha is getting killed, but still he forgets that now when he takes the oath. That's what my point was, that when the Vishwaroop has been shown also to Arjun, still Dehatma Bhav is very strong. Vishwaroop is shown by Bhagwan's Kripa and Divya Chakshu Bhagwan gave, and it has its own importance and it has created a certain transformation in Arjun. All that we will see now. But Karta Bhav does not go that easily. One has to surrender, one has to do sadhana, one has to purify the mind, then only it will go. So that is one very important thing to remember. Now Sanjay is reporting. He is sitting in the palace. He is able to see from there what is happening in the battlefield as well as what is happening in the minds of all the warriors. He is able to see all that. Now he reports again. Earlier also he reported. Now again he reports. Sanjaya Uvacha Etat Shrutva Vachanam Keshavasya Kritanjalirvepamana Kiriti Namaskritva Bhuya Evaha Krishnam Sagadgadam Bhita Bhita Pranamya. So what is Sanjay reporting to Dhritarashtra? Etat Shrutva Vachanam Keshavasya. Having heard these words of Bhagavan Krishna or Keshava, Kritanjalihi, he is full of gratitude, yet Vepamanaha, he is sweating, Vepamana, trembling. Kiriti, the crowned one. Generally, we say Kiriti means okay, everybody had a crown at that point in time. Some crown each one is wearing. Depends on whatever position they have. Accordingly, the crown will be simple or grand or medium or super grand, whatever it is. The king and the minister and then the senapati, and each designation will have a certain type of a crown. So one may think, Kiriti, okay, Arjuna is wearing a crown. But this word Kiriti has two meanings in this context. Shankaracharya writes in his commentary that this shloka of Sanjaya is with a specific intent to influence Dhritarashtra's mind to stop the war. Even now, time is there to stop the war. Because Dhritarashtra has that power. He can just call off the war and he can say, Duryodhan gave this part of the land which was already belonging to Pandavas, their kingdom it is, you give it to them. War would not have happened. Chalo, war happened. 10 days are over. Bhishma has fallen, and now Arjun has been shown that all the rest are also going to fall and that they are going to win. Pandavas are going to win. This Sanjay has already told now to Dhritarashtra in the previous shloka. So, whatever Arjun said and whatever Bhagwan replied, all that also is being conveyed by Sanjay, not only this much. All that is also being conveyed by Sanjay. So Dhritarashtra knows that, oh, Bhagwan showed that Kauravas are losing. In fact, they all are entering into the mouth and Bhagwan is crushing them. And Pandavas are winning. And Arjun is having Kirita. So Arjun in this context of Kiriti is the one who is victorious. So that's what Shankaracharya ji, he has written here, that at this juncture, Sanjay's words were motivated. How? Once the unconquerable four, Drona, etc., are slain by Arjun, Duryodhan is as good as slain. Atravasare Sanjaya Vachanam Sabhiprayam Katham Dronadishu Arjunena Nihateshu Ajayeshu Chaturshu निराश्रयः दुर्योधन निहतः एव इति मत्वा धृतराष्ट्रः जयं प्रति निराशः सन्. Then what will happen? This Dhritarashtra will understand that, oh, we are going to lose, and then he may call for a truce. Sandhim karishyati tatah shanti ubhayesham bhavishyati iti. Then there will be peace between both the armies, in both the camps. With that motive, Sanjay has said this shloka, and in that the word kiriti he has used. Tadapi na ashraushit dhritarashtraha bhavitavya vashat. But Dhritarashtra, where is going to listen? He is a victim of his own attachments, and anyway, that is predetermined for him. So, he is not going to listen. But the word Kiriti is to indicate that they are Pandavas are victorious. Your sons are going to lose. You still have the power. Call off the war. One meaning of Kiriti. Second meaning of Kiriti is, this is not very well known. It's a simple incident, but has certain implication and importance. So, during this exile period, Arjun is doing some tapasya and all that to acquire divine weapons, and he is the son of Indra. So, he, in the last 1 year of exile, he is in the incognito period. He is as Brihannala, he is teaching in the Swargaloka, the science of whatever, the art of dance and music and all that. So, before that, there are these two demons, and these two demons, Kala and Khanja. So these two demons are troubling Indra a lot, troubling all the devatas, and Arjun's help is taken by Indra, and Indra tells Arjun that you please kill them. They are troubling us too much and we are not able to defeat. So you please do we can't say do the honors, but you do the needful and kill them, these two. So Indra is called Arjun for that. And Arjun anyway he is expert archer, etc. He fights with them and kills them. And Indra and the Devatas are very relieved that this killed. At that time, as a token of appreciation, this divine crown is put on Arjun's head. Kiriti means that. So, Indra placed the divine Kirita possessing the brilliance of sun on his head. So, Arjun is called Kiriti, the crowned one. Which is again to say to Dhritarashtra that this Arjun is not an ordinary person. Don't underestimate him. And they are already victorious. The Vishwarup has shown. Plus, he has the backing of Indra and all the Devatas, and that power is with Arjun. That crown is symbolic of that. Even his chariot is a divine chariot. His bow is a divine bow. Gandiva, nobody else can hold the Gandiva. Even Karna cannot hold Gandiva. That's why I feel many times Karna is too much hyped up. Unnecessary going on. People keep hyping him up for nothing. His bow, Arjun's bow can't be lifted by anybody. Only Arjun can lift his bow, Gandiva. Bow is also divine, chariot is also divine, this crown is also divine, Pashupatastra also he has pleased Bhagwan Shiva himself. All the devatas, their power is with him. So he is a divine person and he is not to be taken lightly. So Bhagwan says, Sanjay tells Dhritarashtra that this Kiriti. Another point here is that powerful Arjun is right now trembling because the Vishwarup is so overwhelming. He has gratitude for Bhagwan showing the Vishwaroop, but he is trembling because it is very mind-boggling, overwhelming. That mighty Arjun, if he is trembling, what will happen to your sons? That's the point. So you better call off the war. So with that intent, he uses these words. And what is Arjun doing? When he has seen the Vishwaroop, he is seeing the Vishwaroop, hearing what Bhagwan said, and Bhagwan said, you just be an instrument. So Arjun namaskritva bhuya evaha Krishna. He bows down, falls flat again, and once again he speaks to Bhagwan. So why the word bhuya is used here? Because in this bhuya means again. So from this verse 15 to 35, uh, Arjun already praised Bhagwan, but that was Saumya Rupa. And he once again now starts offering prayers. You will see the shlokas that come now. So bhuya eva. So again he told Krishna, ah Krishna, how sagad gadam. His throat is choked, full of emotions, lot of bhav, devotion, bhakti. Bhita bhita pranamya. At the same time, there is great fear also. Fear of what? This entire form is terrible form, where death he is seeing, destruction and death. So he prostrates. Namaskritva, pranamya, you know, indicates all that humility that he has. Now, from this verse onwards, Arjuna Vacha. So, from this 36th verse to 46th verse. So, totally 11 verses. Gurudev has written very nicely that these are 11 beautiful prayers. So, what he has said here is, in fact, the words and the ideas expressed here under are so general in their import and significance that we can almost say that no better universal prayer can ever be conceived of, either in its concept, beauty, or cadence, or in the depth of the message in its words. So this is not only applicable to Vishwarupa, some of course are applicable to Vishwarupa, but in general also one can apply these qualities one can chant these shlokas as a prayer to Bhagavan. Because they invoke bhav, they invoke sharanagati, they invoke bhakti, they express gratitude, they also express, they ask for forgiveness. Arjuna asks for forgiveness also because many times we act out of such ignorance, indolence. So forgiveness also is there in this. So many beautiful things come together. So Gurudev, that's why he says this. That is one of the most beautiful universal prayers. 11 verses now. So now Arjun starts. What does he say? Arjuna uvacha sthane ऋषिकेश तव प्रकीर्त्या जगत् प्रहृष्यत्यनुरज्यते च रक्षांसि भीतासि दिशो द्रवन्ति सर्वे नमस्यन्ति च सिद्धसङ्घाः. So he says here, sthane ऋषिकेश. It is all appropriate. Sthane. What? O Rishikesha. It is appropriate that the entire world rejoices in proclamation of your glory. Tava prakirtya. In the proclamation of your glory. Jagat prahrishyati anurajyate cha. So this whole world is delighted and rejoices. In what? In this glory of yours. We should actually delight in Bhagwan's glory. We delight in our glory. That is our problem. Little, small, chota, little, some insignificant creature I am. And one goes on glorifying oneself. And not only that, one wants others to glorify oneself. And if they don't do, we feel sad. In whose glory we should rejoice? The whole world rejoices in the glory of Bhagwan. Because the whole Srishti is Bhagwan's glory, including you and me. The flute delights in the music, but then music is being produced by whom? By the flautist. Now the flute says, I am the, without me this cannot happen. So I have to be glorified. Array. So Arjuna has understood. So first point he says is, it is all appropriate that the whole world is rejoicing in your glory and sthane rishikesha tava prakirtya jagat prahrishyati anurajyate cha. So they are delighted and they are rejoicing. And then what is happening? Raksham se bhitani disho dravanti. All the Rakshasas are running away in all different directions. Because Rakshasas, they can't handle Sattva Guna. And divine powers, they can't be near divine powers. They will run from there. If the divine powers have some selfishness, ego, like the power of Devatas, Indra, Varuna, Vayu, they have some ego, selfishness, then they will come. Because those are the things which make a person weak. So and they will attack. But Bhagwan is free from all that. Bhagwan is full of Sattva Guna, love, compassion, beyond the three gunas also. So Rakshasas, and he is all powerful. So Rakshasas don't dare. They are as though running in all 10 directions. Rakshamsi Bhitani, they are scared. Disho Dravanti, they run to all quarters in fear. Sarve Namasyanti cha Siddha Sanghaha, and all the Siddhas, the groups of Siddhas, Kapil Muni and all the Saptarishis and many of them, they bow down, they prostrate in surrender. So the same form of Bhagwan, Vishwarupa also, that Vishwarup, looking at it, Arjun is feeling this, that some places Siddhas are worshipping you, bowing down to you. They are not necessary, they are not seeing Vishwarupa in that sense, but Arjun is seeing them, that they are worshipping Bhagwan. These Rakshasas are flying away in different directions out of fear, and this entire world is rejoicing. Jagat praharishyati anurajyate cha. So now the whole world is rejoicing, meaning obviously it's an expression. It's not that everybody is rejoicing, because there are all types of people in the world. All types of jivas are there. Some are non-believers, some are believers, some are partial believers, some are complete indulgent people. It's not that everybody is, but in general, that's what this means. That people are happy and they are praising Bhagavan. Also, so um, one meaning here is, it is appropriate that the world is rejoicing in you. It is appropriate that Rakshasas are flying away. It is appropriate that Siddhas are bowing down to you. So all the actions, they are appropriate. And then Shankaracharya ji says here that it is in place. Means what? Uh, why is the whole world rejoicing in Bhagavan? Because he is the self of all. And so that is one meaning. And second meaning he says here is that sthane rishikesha, in that rishikesha is more important. In the first one, the things are appropriate, that the world is rejoicing, the demons are flying away, and the siddhas are bowing down. So it is all appropriate, it is happening well. But in the second meaning, Shankaracharya ji says that the term sthane proper is to be taken as qualifying Bhagavan. That we should rejoice only in Bhagavan. That is sthane, sthane rishikesha. In the earlier one, sthane anurajyate cha. So that two different meanings Shankaracharya ji gives. The point basically we have to understand is very simple, that Arjun is seeing and he is full of gratitude and he is seeing different reactions happening in the creation. Sattvic people, they are the Siddhas and all the great rishis, etc. They are full of devotion, they are bowing down. Rajasic people, they pray to Bhagavan, they praise Bhagavan, they are delighted in Bhagavan, and some of them may want some favors from Bhagavan also. Sometimes we praise because we want something from Bhagavan. Tamasic people are all these Rakshasas, all of them out of fear, they are running away. So Arjun sees this and he calls Bhagavan as what? Rishikesha, Sthane Rishikesha. So Rishikesha means Rishika. So Rishi Kesha has different meanings. Rishikesha means one whose hair is curled up, clipped, long hair. Even men used to have long hair earlier. They used to wear earrings. So in the war, so Gudakesha and Rishikesha. So both Arjun and Bhagwan have tied up their hair. That's why they are called Gudakesha, Rishikesha. Second, Rishikesha means the lord of the senses. Rishika senses is the lord of the senses, Rishikesha. So here that lord of the senses, both meanings can apply because they are in the battlefield. So he says, Thane Rishikesha Tava Prakirtya. Now the whole world has different responses. And why are the Siddhas and all of them bowing down? Why is the world rejoicing? So in the next one he explains. कस्माच्चतेन न मेरन्महात्मन् गरीयसे ब्रह्मणोऽप्यादिकर्त्रे अनन्तदेवेश जगन्निवास त्वमक्षरं सदसत्तत्परं यत् कस्माच्चतेन न मेरन्. Why should they not bow down? Meaning all the Siddha Sanghas and the world, etc. Why? Because you are Mahatman, you are the supreme, the greatest. See, that word Mahatman is actually a very powerful word. One who has dropped all body identification and one who identifies with the infinite consciousness is actually called Mahatma. Mahan Atma Yasya Sa Mahatma. But today we use Mahatma for anything. Mahatma ji aao. If somebody is giving some two words of, good advice, they say, oh Mahatma ji, आपका प्रवचन शुरू हो गया. We make fun of it. That's our stupidity. So many beautiful words which are so sacred, which have such deep meaning. We have made it so brought down its sublimity and made it absolutely ridiculous, using it in many insulting ways. Bhakta, Mahatma, even Bhagavan for that matter, Guru, so many words like that. We have just abused them like terrible. So here he says, Bhagavan is addressed as Mahatma, that you are the only Mahatma actually, because he is the infinite self in all. So Kasma Chatena Nameran Mahatman, why will people not bow down to you? Why should they not bow down to you? Because you are the greatest. Nameran Mahatman. Gariyase means you are the greatest. Brahmanopi Adi Kartre. You are the cause of Brahmaji also. So Brahmaji is supposed to be the creator. He is the creator of the creator. So what we know in Bhagavatam, from the Nabhi of Mahavishnu comes the Kamal, the lotus. And that's why lotus is very sacred, because lotus is not Brahmaji's Srishti. Lotus is the divine Srishti of Bhagavan Vishnu. It is a primary creation. It is not a secondary creation. It is called Sarga. It is not Visarga. Whatever else is created afterwards is all Visarga. It is secondary creation, which Brahmaji creates. But lotus is a creation of is a primary creation, is Bhagavan himself. So, Brahmanopi Adi Kartre, he says, you are that primal being. From Vedanta standpoint, Shankaracharya says, you are that infinite Brahman, which is the source of even Brahmaji, who is Hiranyagarbha. So you are that Brahman which is appearing as Hiranyagarbha with total mind and then which creates the world. So you are that infinite consciousness. Gariyase Brahmanopi Adi Kartre. Then who are you? Ananta. You are infinite. Devesha. You are the Lord of all the Devatas. Jagannivasa. You are the one in whom the whole world rests. Tvam Aksharam. And you are the imperishable truth. That which is nameless, formless, attributeless, birthless, changeless, deathless, that infinite truth you are. Sadasat Tat Param Yat. And what is that imperishable truth? It is that which is beyond Sat and Asat. That imperishable truth you are. So, what is Sat and Asat here? So, Sat and Asat have two meanings in this context. Sat literally means that which exists, Asat means that which does not exist. So, the Lord is the one who is beyond the concepts of existence and non existence. Because human being has created the concept of non existence now. So, one says Shunya, nothingness, ultimate truth is nothingness. How can it be nothingness? There has to be some entity to know that nothingness. So existence, and then in comparison to that is not in opposition to that is the non-existence. Like we have heat and cold, pleasure and pain, like that opposite. Existence, non-existence. This infinite consciousness is beyond existence and non-existence. Why? Because existence also is only a concept. Sat, Asti, Aham, I am. All that is also a pointer. It's only a concept. Ultimate truth is Aksharam, beyond all concepts. And absence of all that which exists is called non-existent. That also is a concept. But there is a difference. And what is the difference? See, existence as a concept is indicating the truth, which is where there is a positive state. It is not blank, it is not absence. But non-existence is only an intellectual concept. Existence is experienceable because that's our nature. Non-existence is only absence of all that exists. So, though there will be some people who will say that non-existence is the ultimate truth and all that, but the truth is existence alone is. And so, here when we say the truth is beyond existence and non-existence, what does that mean? It means that consciousness can't be even limited by the concept of existence, that asti, isness, amness, all that. No limitation. We can use the pointer aham, aham, aham and restrain the mind and not allow it to think of more identification. So I am hungry, I am angry, I am tall, I am dark, I am happy, I am sad. All these sentences, I am is common. All the others are adjectives connected to the body, mind, intellect. So anytime the I thought comes, we don't associate with the adjectives, we just say I am, aham, aham, aham. That pure I is aksharam. Because that aham, aham, aham also finally disappears, in the sense the concept of it will all go. What remains is aksharam. That's why he says tvam aksharam. You are that imperishable truth, which is beyond sat and asat. Now this is sometimes difficult for some people to understand, existence and non-existence, and both are concepts. And finally we have to transcend, you have to drop all concepts and realize the truth. Then Gurudev has made it more simpler in that sense, where he says that Sat here means that which is manifest, Asat means that which is unmanifest. So this gross body, subtle body is manifest. This causal body is unmanifest. Same way, Virat and Hiranyagarbha manifest, Ishvara is unmanifest. Existence is beyond all. Like Om in the BMI chart, Om is beyond the manifest world, which is entire realm, body, mind, intellect, perceiver, feeler, thinker, object, emotion, thought, manifest world. And Vasana is unmanifest world, causal body. Om is beyond that. So that's what he has given here in this, that the translation is given is manifest and unmanifest. That Bhagavan is manifest and unmanifest and beyond both. Ultimate Akshara is beyond both. Tvamaksharam Sada Sat Tat Param Yat. You are Sat also, Asat also, beyond that also. So, having said this, Arjun, as I said, it now continues. Now 46 till verse number 46. Various ways in which he praises Bhagavan are all pointers which we can use even in general, some of these in our sadhana, that if we contemplate on the truth is that which is beyond Sat, Asat. It is Sat, Asat and beyond. It is all. It's not something exclusive. It is all which is manifest also is Sat. What is unmanifest also is Sat. Beyond manifest and unmanifest, Supreme Brahman also is Sat, in which there is no duality, no Maya, no Jagat, nothing. Is manifest, unmanifest is in connection with this Jagat. Beyond that is the infinite Brahman. So now one can contemplate. There one with Vishwarupa, etc. need not come. So like that, a few things in these prayers we can apply in a general context in our sadhana also. So for today, we will stop here. So what we are going to do, yeah, all the Yajmans who are there, we thank all of them. The Mukhya Yajmans, Parag Wagh, Kalpana ji, Hemant Kumar ji, Bharat Khanna ji, Achyutan Nair ji, Nandita ji, all the Gita Arti Yajmans, Vipul ji, Nalini ji, Surbhi ji, Rajan ji, Sapna ji, Dipti ji, Jolly ji, Ajay ji, Kirit ji, Garima ji, Jayashri ji, Jyotsna ji, Hem ji, Vijaya ji, Vinnu ji, Tarana ji, Mukti ji and Mukta ji and Majnu ji. Today's daily Dainik Yajman, Jayashri Iyer ji, Srijata Basu ji and Ashish Bhushan ji. And today's Aarti Yajmans, Monica Malkani ji, Shantanu Doublis ji. So we invoke Bhagwan's grace, Gurudev's blessings on them and everyone present here. May Bhagwan bless us with the bhav that we are only nimitta. May we remember that all times. May we do our best, dedicate all actions to the Lord, and also may we come to realize our absolute oneness with the Supreme, walking this path of Dharma. Om Tat Sat. If there are any questions, we will take it up after the Arati. ओम जय भगवती प्रकाशिनी हरा निश्चल भक्ति विकारी शरण रहरि सब विघ्नकारी ओम जय भगवती नागर द्वेष विदारिणी भगवय आसुर भाव विनाशिनी समर्जनी दैवी सदारिणी हरियसिका जजनी समता त्याग सिखावनी की पानी स्वामी श्रुतियों की रानी भगवती दया सुधा बरसावनी बोलिए श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Yes,
Hari
Ajay.
Om, Hari Om Swamiji, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Swamiji, you spoke about this Karta Bhav, where Arjun also, in spite of the cosmic form, even he takes this vow to kill Jayadratha. I wanted to ask you, like that verse 32, where he says, Rite Pitvam na Bhavishanti, the Nimitta Bhav. I reflect on this a lot. And in all my moments of quietness, I understand that the work is happening, through me. And there has been a divine presence in a lot of things. When I've reflected back, I used to call it luck, but, like you said, it's grace. But however, when I still communicate and there are some communications, it is like that Karta Bhav is so deeply rooted in it. My communication, still wants to take the credit. It's still, saying, I did this, I did that. So my question is, how do I now inculcate this communication where, at least it reflects that the work happened through me, the ego is in check, and I'm not taking all the time the owner saying, I did. So, it's just if I can change that, and if you can tell me.
So there are few things that can help in this. One is from knowledge standpoint, when we understand that it is futile to even think of it that I did this, because my very existence is happening because of the entire totality. So how much can I arrogate to myself that I did, I did, I did? There is okay some part of it which is a very little minuscule part. If I actually start thinking that my contribution in this, whatever work it may be, however great it may appear to be, what are the other factors which are all there because of which this is happening? If I start counting down and writing down the involvement of the totality, I will find that my contribution is very less. So that is one aspect. Through knowledge, one can understand it is futile to even think. Actually, Bhagavan who is doing everything through so many people, so many factors. If all that was not there, how will I even do anything? Including in my BMI, living is happening by Bhagavan. The thought is happening by Bhagavan. The knowledge has been given by Bhagavan. The decision making ability is given by Bhagavan. Everything is done by the Lord only. Now, where is my contribution? So, one. So, the futility of thinking of this, arrogating it to oneself, if at all those thoughts come, one says, I offer it to Bhagavan. So, one doesn't have to fight the thought. One doesn't have to think that why these thoughts are still coming to me. No, if they come because of past habit, vasanas, let them come. We don't encourage, but we offer it to Bhagavan, saying all credit goes to Bhagavan. Narayanayati samarpaya. That. So the more we do, so that is one way of knowledge and then offering it even if it rises. Second way is, as my sadhana becomes deeper, I actually will see that things are only happening through me. That ego doesn't rise only. Because literally it is Bhagavan who is doing. Non-doership will become a reality. Then it will not remain a concept, or it will not remain as something that I need to practice separately. One will literally see that I am nimitta, everyone else is a nimitta. It is all happening by the will of the divine. That sadhana, as it becomes deeper, one will literally feel moment by moment non-doership. And so the mind has to become purified for it, then one will experience, which is what we see in Arjun's case. It takes time to purify. That's why the ego comes up again. And so the joy of sadhana when it happens and the mind feels blissful, quiet, then it doesn't need recognition. And last point is, suppose even I take credit, so what? It is so temporary. What am I running behind then? Some few moments of praise, few moments of ego, few moments of some appreciation. After that, how long does it even last? If one actually thinks about it, it's very futile.
True.
Then one will drop it, saying, what is this? And what all people do for fame, Bapre. You look at this, some of things that people do in the world, oh ho ho. Just to become famous. Yena kena prakarena prasiddha purusho bhavet. Do anything, ghatam bindyat, patam chindyat, break a pot, tear the cloth, all that. Do anything but become famous. Today the world, one is running behind it. And how many people for taking certain reels and shooting certain videos, bichara, they slip, they fall, injure themselves, lose their lives. Oh my God, what is all that? For how much? For a few moments of fame. So if one understands that big picture, then one says it is futile. There is no point of this chase.
The issue was also, what I realized is, when you're trying to take the credit or you're trying to portray the karta bhav, sometimes what is happening is there is jealousy that arises in certain people, and that's landed me also in problems. So I was just trying to work on humility for a very long time, where you don't take the credit, but it was manifesting. So that's something, I think what you said is correct also. Credit is very temporary, and I chased it for those moments, for that few moments of happiness or whatever I thought is happiness. So I'll reflect more on it.
Right. Okay.
Hariom, thank you. Thank you.
Mukesh bhai, you were asking something? Your hand went up for a short while. Okay. Om Purnamada पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।